back to Muse on the Mic. I'm Riley.
And I'm Emily. Thanks for joining us on another awesome episode of Muse on the Mic. We are here with a follow-up episode to our last episode where we're continuing the hottest tea on TikTok right now. Riley, tell everybody what we're jumping into, and then I will give us a little introduction.
Who the fuck did I marry? Part two. We're reacting to Derek Branch's video. Like Emily said, is trending on TikTok. This woman created, what was her name again? Risa.
Risa, yeah.
She created basically a story for us to listen to her life of marrying this narcissist, all the red flags she ignored. And it's trending. It's got us hooked. And we're about to jump into part two today.
I can't wait to hear the rest of this juiciness because I've been avoiding spoilers on the internet for the past week waiting for us to record this. I'm so eager because the things that I'm scrolling through really fast look really excited. So I'm like, oh, we got to get there. We got to get there. But before we jump into the video and the reaction, make sure you are following and subscribed to our Patreon, first of all, so you can catch all of our extra spicy episodes that are not made for YouTube. So we plunked them over there. It's $9 a month. Make sure you subscribe. You can catch all our episodes over there. And a little bit about us for our new viewers. We own a happy ending massage parlor in Toronto, Canada, licensed, legal, and open for 14.5 years. And we are here with a podcast to talk about all the things: sex, love, relationships, adults, sex work, industry, you name it. We're talking about it, including juicy tea that is trending about men and women. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's dive into this. I'm so excited.
Okay, guys, this is part 2 of Who the Heck Did I Just Marry? Before you watch this, go watch part 1. This is about Risa and how she ended up marrying a pathological liar. When I made episode 1, all her videos was at 500,000 views. Guys, all of them are at 2 million views now.
Holy shit.
So y'all know what to do. Get your tea and get your snacks, because you already know. This is about to be good. If you want to watch it yourself, you can go here. Bro, she's at 1.4 million followers. Wow. She was at 345K before.
Holy shoot.
Okay, yeah, you can watch it here. The rest of y'all, you're with me. Let's go. Okay, last place we left off, the baby didn't have a heartbeat. The doctor calls Risa and says this is going to be a miscarriage. Risa went to her friend's office and just started bawling. So her friend takes her home. She tells her man Ted the news. He's like, oh, okay, I'll be home soon too. 24 hours later, she gets a new doctor's appointment. The doctor says you can let the miscarriage happen naturally, or 2, take a pill that makes it come out, or do a DNC, which is like a procedure to remove it. Risa chose the pill. Well, not this pill, but something like it. By the way, y'all should look into this. I've given this out like 200 times. Like, I could make a couple bowl of cereals for how many times I've given them out. They work well. Risa chooses the pill. She chooses to take it on June 17th, which is the same day as Ted's birthday. They celebrate it during a dinner, and after it, she would take it. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I wouldn't want to celebrate my birthday on the same day as a miscarriage, because now we're going to think of the miscarriage every time it's my birthday. Like, you just kind of cursed Ted's birthday. After this, Risa says she went through the most traumatic and painful experience she's ever had in her life. She doesn't recommend it. 72 hours later, they do another ultrasound, but everything still didn't pass. So the doctor was like, now you gotta do this DNC. 2 days before this procedure, Ted gets promoted to VP, but his promotion was scheduled on the same day as her surgery. Risa was like, what? Hell no. Ted was like, don't worry, my sister can take you in. Risa's like, what? No, it's already embarrassing enough that you can't take me. My friend will take me. Risa was so mad. Later, Ted tells Risa, hey, I now have an executive assistant named David. If you have any problems, message him and then he'll come get me out the meeting. Risa's like, okay. The procedure day rolls around. Risa calls Ted to let him know. But the assistant David picks up and says, hey, is everything okay? Do you want me to get him out the meeting? Risa was like, no, don't bother him, but just let him know I'm going in. David was like, okay, ma'am, I'll let him know. Risa does the procedure and everything goes well. She wakes up and the nurses tell her fiance will be on the way. A little later, Risa heard the nurses talking. They said they called her fiance, but some assistant answered and told him to let the fiance know. Ted called back 30 minutes later and said, I'll be there soon. He's coming from Duluth to Atlanta, so it should take like less than an hour. Now, what ends up happening is her recovery time took 3.5 hours. And this man Ted was still nowhere to be seen. They called for like an
What?
ETA like 3 times and he never picked up. Later, Ted finally pulls up. They roll Risa to the car. She gets in. Ted calls her aunt and her sister, says, hey, I got her, we good. But he also texts them and says, hey, don't bother Risa or reach out to her for about a week. She's resting. Risa didn't know this at the time. Just so y'all know, private red flag, sometimes the person that you're with will try to separate you from your family and friends so they can manipulate and have more control over you. Be careful. Now, Risa recovers after 48 hours of being home. Ted says, let's look at houses again. Risa was like, bet, but this time I'm gonna know everything that's going on. We ain't lollygagging. And I'm not working with your last realtor friend. Ted finds another real estate agent named Scott. He says, give me your budget and let me know when you're ready. And only pick empty houses so we can actually look at them. Risa looks at like 15 different houses and finds this one. She loves it. They had it for $700K. Only problem, the basement wasn't finished. Ted was excited. He wanted it as his man cave. They toured this house multiple times, so they were ready to go. This time, Ted says he's paying for the entire house in cash. Supposedly, he had this type of money in the bank accounts he talked about earlier. Just like us, Risa was like, you can cut something like that? He said, yeah,
What?
arena football paid him well. Now, guys, like you, I'm getting tired of hearing this. What are these guys making? It says here, arena football players make $7K to $482,000 salary. What? But most of them make $30K. He must have been a very valuable player. Anyway, Scott sends over the paperwork with Risa's name and Ted's name. They look over the offer. It's all good. Ted's gonna pay in all cash. They request the builder to finish the basement. They request the seller to answer in 24 hours, and they wait for the call. Lisa was excited. She said, this time it's different. I watched Ted sign for the offer, and Risa was the one that sent it back in. Now, Risa pauses the story right here because she had to clarify some things. And this like low-key bugged me because it was a lot of things that should have been said earlier. So I'm running through this. Ted was born in Philly. He moved to Augusta for high school, then went to college in San Diego, stayed there, got married, had a house and kids, but they weren't his biological kids. Some of his immediate family was in Georgia. 2 sisters are over here. A brother in Baltimore, a brother in Philly, a brother in Nashville. Risa has physically met his aunt and brother in Augusta, and a FaceTime with his other brother. Now, guys, when I started calling him fiance, I was not misspeaking. Risa then skipped over the entire proposal. Let's run it. Now, this is before the miscarriage, maybe somewhere late May or early June. I guess they go to a jewelry store. Ted says, pick your 3 favorite rings. Risa was like, just so y'all know, I skipped over this because it was completely unromantic.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something. What made you think you could skip over this? The story is called Who the Heck Did We Just Marry? You can't just skip over that. She picks some, and then
Sure.
Ted's like, bet. I'll give you the ring when I'm ready to propose. Why did I pick this picture with this man with a perm? Not to make fun of him, but here's my perm. Just so y'all know, I was going crazy with it.
Brutal.
Now, it's like the first week of June. Around the time where, bro, we're having flashbacks. This ain't even a TV show. We're having flashbacks. Anyway, they're having dinner. Ted slams the ring on the table. Risa was like, what is happening? Ted's like, open it. And it was the ring she wanted. She was like, oh. Then he was like, all right, so now you about to be my wife. Risa was like, well, I'm already pregnant, so sure. Now, of course, all of us in the audience like, why, Risa? Why? Risa was like, look, y'all, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. His dad was an ex-police officer, ex-pastor. My family go to church, so this was important for us to get this done. Okay? Blah, 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 blah. We're back. Now, the reason why this was important is because when he said that his sister could take her to the hospital, some people were like, yo, your sister lives over here? You know, and this is why stuff gotta be in order. Because we thought you didn't know nobody in Georgia. So, guys, I'm telling you right now, this is about to be like a clusterfuck episode. But at the end of this, I'm about to drop a bomb on y'all.
Wild.
So I'm gonna clean up this mess that Risa made. Now we're back to the part where they're making an offer on this house. Just tell the builder to finish the basement. Scott heard back from the builder. So he tells Risa and Ted, we gotta talk. The builder denied the offer because he didn't want to finish that basement. Risa was like, okay, we gonna get something else. So boom, they find another one. But this one costs $900,000. Risa was like, that's a big house, man. Can we afford this? Ted says, don't worry, we're gonna use the $750,000 from Chase, and I'll take out the rest of it with my savings. Risa was like, okay. Now, Risa wanted to talk about his job real quick. because, he became a VP for a condiment company. His job was basically walking the floor of the plant, checking on subordinates, whatever. He would leave the house at 6:15, but he would never wear like a suit and tie, just like a t-shirt with the logo, like somebody working at Amazon. I guess she explains his job as a reference for more things that we're going to hear about later. Now, guys, around this time, it's about fall. They keep touring and find another house. But this didn't go through because they had like a messed up septic tank, and it was going to cost like $20,000. The sellers didn't want to fix
an
it.
Expensive repair.
Risa's like, then we don't want it. Risa says, let's pause on talking about houses. Which, thank God, because I'm getting tired of hearing about this. And now she takes us back to June, before the miscarriage, because there was a car situation. And guys, this is important because we're going to see a pattern with Ted. At the time, Risa drove a 2012 Nissan Rogue. Ted drove a 2018 Ford Taurus. Supposedly his job said they're going to get him a company car. So this man goes on a journey and test drives all types of cars. He ends up choosing a BMW. He tells the salesman the situation and how the company is getting him a car. He tells him I need a full printout of the car, the tax, and the title, so he can send it to his company. Now, this is how the call went in front of her. And even in front of the salesperson, he gets on the phone. He calls the finance person at his job. He's like, hey, Tom, yeah, the president has authorized me to get a car. Okay, I'm going to send over the printout. He hangs up. He waits 10 minutes. Yeah, Tom, did you get it? Oh, okay. Oh, he's not there? All right, okay. Yeah, then we can figure it out tomorrow. Okay, yeah, thank you. He hangs up. He tells the salesperson, hey, the person that does the wire transfers isn't there in the office right now, so we have to do this tomorrow. The salesperson says, that's cool, we can do it tomorrow. Risa saw all this go down, and at this point, she said, it looks official. There's like no reason I would think he was lying. On the way home, Ted tells Risa, because he knows that she would want to drive the car too. He says, I don't feel safe with you driving the car because you're pregnant, so I'm going to buy you a whole new car that I feel safe with you in. Risa's like, cool. What? She said she wanted the Kia because she loved Kia, so they test drive a bunch of Kias, some Ford Explorers. Ted's like, I don't like any of these. I really want to get you a BMW. So they test drive a bunch of BMWs. Ted was pushing this because back in San Diego, he had a BMW and he loved it, but it got totaled. They gave him a little money for it, and then he got the Ford. Risa test drives the BMW, and she was like, yo, this fire. Ted was like, I think I want you to test drive one more car. He was like, I want you to test drive an Audi. So they go to Audi, and she test drive that. Risa was like, yo, this is cool, too. At this point, though, Risa was like, look, man, I'm tired of testing cars. I'm tired of looking at houses. Just pick one. Ted picks the Audi. He goes to the dealership, and it's the same process. He asks for the printout. Ted says he'll pay for the whole thing with his offshore bank account, which, he got a lot of money in there. He tells the salesman to hold on to the car because it's still COVID and it's going to take a while for the money to transfer. Risa said it was easy for him to make these excuses because it was lockdown, which, sure, these are some valid excuses. But after everything we've seen, no, Risa, this still looks funny.
Yeah, no.
He's sketch. They leave. They're in the car again. Ted gets on the phone and, guys, here's that pattern again. He calls his financial advisor. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, I need to transfer $70,000. I'm going to buy a car for my fiance. Yep, this is the bank info. Do you need me to email it or do you want me to give it to you over the phone? Okay. Give me a few minutes and I'm going to email it to you and then let me know when you received it. He hangs up. Risa was just chilling in the car. She wasn't paying attention if somebody was talking on the other side. Next day, Ted calls Risa. Hey, I sent the money to Audi. The car's going to be delivered to the house. Risa's like, wait, hold up. I don't feel safe with the car being dropped off when I'm not there. Can we reschedule it to a day where I'm working at home? Ted's like, okay, does this day work? She says, yep, that's cool. Ted says, okay, it should be there from 1 to 3 o'clock. Next day's rolling around and Risa's waiting for the car. And no surprise here, it doesn't show. And I don't think any of us are surprised. She calls Ted, no answer. He calls back and he's like, yo, what's up? She's like, Ted, the car's not here. What is going on? Do I need to do this myself? Because she know how he be. He gets defensive and he's like, look, I'll handle it. He calls back and he says, Audi says the car was stuck on the truck where the deliveries come from. Risa just laughed because she was like, I knew this BS was going to happen. She wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, but she was like, man, I expected this. He tells her later, the car will be there this weekend. And of course, guys, it never showed. He had a new excuse. This turns to an argument. Risa was like, look, I'm done. I'm going to get my own car. I don't want to hear about no more cars. I don't want to hear about no more houses. I'm done. The discussion never happened again. At this point, Risa believed she learned something about her man. She was like, this man gets off on the idea of getting you excited for something, knowing that you'll never get it. This is sick. Until this day, she still hasn't got the car. Now remember, guys, this is still before the miscarriage. Risa brings up his family again. He got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, 2 half-brothers through the dad. He would talk to his family almost like every day on the phone. Risa would be around when they were talking. Now, around this time, his grandma dies from COVID. Ted was really hurt because he was really close to her. He cried a lot, wasn't eating a lot. Now, here's another suspect thing that Ted did. He has a sister named Shantae. Risa has never met her. She would just see him on the phone with her sometimes. There would be times where the sister invited them over. The first time Risa denied because she was like, nah, it's COVID, I don't got time for that. The second invite, Ted didn't want to go because of COVID. Now the third invite, it gets interesting. They both accept and they start driving over. On the way there, Ted gets a call. He's like, hey sis. Oh, okay. That's fine, maybe another day. Okay, all right, I'll see you soon. He hangs up. The sister canceled, so they went back home. Risa said at the time, I didn't think it was a red flag. But for all of us here, I think we're starting to see the pattern with these phone calls, y'all. 3 weeks later, his uncle passes, and Ted becomes like a stickler with like COVID. He was not playing. Okay, guys, now here's the part I was trying to tell y'all. Risa says backstory on ex-wife. Ted was married, had a nice house, caught his wife cheating. Him and the unknown man start fighting. At this time, the 17-year-old son was on the way home from school. He kicks the man out and he kicks the wife out. She's like, I'm not leaving without my kids. Supposedly the kids were old enough and they said they didn't want to leave. They wanted to stay here with the dad. And remember, not biological dad, stepdad. So supposedly she leaves without her kids. Later she gets her own crib and the kids move over there. They file for a divorce in California. Out of this divorce, she still wanted spousal support. Ted said, I'm not doing child support, but I will still send money to support the kids. Now, one thing I was thinking, I don't know if you can put child support on somebody when it's not his real biological kids. Okay, I looked it up. It says you don't unless you adopt them. Either way, He wanted to keep a relationship with the kids. The biological dad went to get milk. I don't know where he is. Instead of an ugly divorce, they became cordial with each other. 2 years later, his job gives him an opportunity to go to Georgia, which is where he meets Risa, and we start this whole story. Risa still sees him talk to the kids, helps him with homework. Sometimes he sends money over to support them. The kids even want to meet Risa. She was like, okay, that's cool. Now, guys, here's the bomb that I was talking about. Risa decides to tell us in the last week of April 2020, the beginning of May, Ted's ex-wife decides to move to Georgia with the kids and everything. Risa was like, no fucking way. You mean throughout all of this, she was here the whole time? And we're hearing this now? Has Ted been going to see his wife behind your back? And guys, I'm ending it right here on that cliffhanger. I just turned 1.5 hours to 15 minutes. If y'all want episode 3, rip it up in the comments right now. And I'm telling you right now, episode 3 is crazy, y'all. As I always say, what do you think about this?
I'm like,
Where to begin with this?
Where to even start?
But I think Derek made mention of this guy must really get off on getting her excited. And the whole time I'm thinking before he mentioned it, like, this is like a fetish. I mean, we've discussed fetishes so much. Yeah. This is what gets him off. It's just, how do you get your partner through the disappointment? Because you don't come through literally ever, which is like probably the biggest turnoff for a woman is lack of follow through. So you're setting yourself up to lose, buddy.
Oh, it's so strange. And it's so weird to think, like, when you like someone, your desire to think the best of them so overrides your common sense that it's like confusing to me from like an evolutionary standpoint. Like, we as a society without like infrastructure would not survive like this in the jungle. We'd be chewed up by lions and spit out his bones. Like, to ignore all of your natural instincts, all of your woman's intuition, like, What? And yet millions of women go through this all the time. As do men. They get lied to just
I
as
think
much.
that's
But
what
like,
love is.
ugh, it's
Love
crazy.
blinds us. I've been there, done that. So have you.
Same. I know what a non-follow through man is like to be with. And like the hope becomes like your lifeblood of
Right.
just pushing through to the next phase, the next promise, the next season. Let's just get through the holidays, like whatever it is. And it keeps you trucking on a train going in circles. But the whole time I was watching this, not only am I like still wish I had a little red flag I could wave, but there's
Right.
actually a guy on, I think he became famous on YouTube, who's literally called the red flag guy. And he does all kinds of reaction videos, but it clips to him every time there's something that's a red flag that someone says, where he's out in like a park in like the garden or the grass, and he runs with like this ginormous 20-foot red flag. And he's like, fella, you gotta see this. And he's just waving this giant red flag. I'm like, we need the red flag guy here, like every 10 seconds in this shit show of a video, because not Derek's video, but like shit show of a story, because it's like every second sentence is like, oh god, oh wait, what? Oh no, stop it! I just want to scream. This is crazy. I
Well,
feel for this woman, but also don't.
I'm anxious to see what comes of this. They've mentioned it so many times about he played arena football, which I'm not really sure what that is. Like, is that professional
Soccer.
football? Is that the NFL? But I mean, he apparently made a great deal of money. This
Yeah.
is a man you're in love with. And I have a feeling or a prediction that he never played football, but
Mm,
I could be wrong. But either way, wouldn't you be like, that's your partner, that's your man? Wouldn't you be like, show me the footage? Let me watch some of your
right.
highlights. Let's watch the old
Right.
games. Like, I don't know. She's missing
A
a bunch here.
jersey, a something
Yeah.
for sure. I think it's soccer. Actually, I think that's what arena football is.
Oh,
I could be wrong, but I think.
gotcha.
The other thing that I thought was an immediate red flag is the offshore accounts. Not that everyone who has offshore investments is up to no good, but it's also a common denominator in people that are up to no good that money launder and stuff like that. Offshore accounts is like rich people's play place. You know, there's
Right.
lots of places you can plunk it. There's enough countries that operate under those dynamics.
Hide it
But
from the tax man.
right, but there's also got to be a certain volume. Like if we were to take 20K and shove it like in the Cayman Islands just for safekeeping, cool. But to have
Mhm.
the ability to buy a house in cash that's like just shy of like $1 million and then be like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll also buy the car and we'll also buy the this and I'll support the kid and how many rings do you want? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's only certain kinds of people that have millions of dollars sitting in offshore accounts. And he mentioned a savings account. And I'm just like, all of this is just, again, the big red flag guy. It's like he's running all over the park right now.
Yeah.
This flag is everywhere. The flag even needs to be bigger because this is fucking insane. This is
It's wild.
insane. I feel
It's,
like some of our love life stories or love life stories you can hear from friends or even customers who tell their stories, we come across crazy stories. But this, this is a whole other level. I can't even guess beyond those like little details on what the grand like lies are going to be. We
or
know he's
how
lying about his money. We know he's lying about where he gets it from. His job is suspect. Like all of it's suspect, but there's got to be a bigger, you know what I mean?
I
So
just want to know where this guy is today.
literally,
Like
we need
behind
like
bars.
a real time update on Ted.
Yeah.
Where is this guy? Is he in the Cayman Islands? Did he flee? Did he flee? Because imagine finding out that she did this too on TikTok.
Oh, I know.
Millions of
And
people.
I have seen videos like you. I've kind of bypassed them all wanting to watch this with you, but I have seen videos about her talking about how much money she's made from this series. Because I guess you get paid through TikTok based on like
Yeah,
volume and likes and watches and views. She's raking it in.
she's brilliant. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
Split it up into 50 things and to tell all the details. I mean, that's different than that one time I didn't like pesto.
No, well played is all I can say.
Crazy. Yeah, she's brilliantly making money. Maybe they're in on it.
Fuck him.
What if Ted's like, let's make up a story and put it on the fucking internet and
True.
make money?
If that's how it ends, I'm not going to be happy.
I'm throwing the phone. That's it. We're done. This episode will cut right there. No sign out, no hello, goodbye, nothing. Just we're done. Cut the screen. It's hilarious. All right, are we ready for part 3?
I'm ready. I want to jump into it like right now.
My heart's racing. I'm sweating. Let's go.
Okay, guys, this is part 3 of Who the Heck Did I Just Marry? Before you watch this, go
buckle
watch
up.
part 2. This is a story about Risa, who ended up marrying a pathological liar. When I made episode 2, all her videos was at 2 mil. They're all at 3 mil now. So you know
Oh my
what to do.
God.
Get your tea and get your snacks. Cause you already know this is about to be good.
It's so funny.
If you want to watch it yourself, you can go here. Bro, she's at
Holy
2.1
shit.
million. What? On episode 2, she was at 1.4. Oh my God, bro. As I said, you can watch it here.
Making
The rest
money.
of y'all, you and me.
Right.
Let's go. Now, guys, where we
Subscribe to our
left off,
TikTok.
Risa takes us back to late April, early May, and she says Ted's ex-wife moved to Georgia with the kids and all. Now, at this point, I guess Risa didn't make much of a fuss about this because his ex-wife never made it seem like she wanted him back. They're only being cordial for the kids. Ted only gets a text from her like every now and then. It's not often. Personally, after everything we've heard so far, I'd be fucking tripping right now. But okay. Now, quick recap, because we're back on the main storyline in August. She got pregnant in May. Lost the baby in June. She got the surgery. In July, she was still looking for houses and being promised cars. We're now in August. Ted finally gets her a car, which surprised the heck out of me. It wasn't a BMW. He got her a Nissan. By this point, Risa was tired, salty because she didn't get the BMW, tired
go
of looking
from
at
RH
houses
to
and getting
Nissan.
her hopes up. We go into fall of October. They find another house. Risa loves it. It's $700K. Again, Ted puts in his all-cash offer. Scott, the real estate agent, calls back and says, yo, the sellers love your offer. Just send the proof of funds. Now, Ted tells the sellers, I'm not showing proof of funds until you accept the offer. The seller's like, what? I'm not accepting an offer till you show proof of funds. So this turns to a standoff. Risa asked other people what their opinion was on this. Some people agreed with Ted, some people agreed with the seller. Personally, to me, I don't know why it's so difficult to just show proof of funds. The seller gives them 2 days to figure it out. They send over the chase document for $750K. The seller's like, what? No, not the loan. You said all cash. Ted's like, I'm not showing nothing. Because y'all might try to create a bidding war. The real estate agent was like, oh my God. And apologizes to Ted because he's like, I should have had your approval letter and proof of funds before all this. My team says we now can't do work till you show proof of funds. Reese is like, Ted, show them the funds. Ted says, this is unprofessional. This ain't our fault. This is your fault for not doing your job right. Reese is like, why is this so hard when you already agreed to pay the full asking price? The realtor's like, what the hell? Scott's like, look, I'm gonna go try. The seller's like, bro, hell no. Look, we got someone else that's ready to show proof of funds. We going to them. They don't get the house. Scott's like, look, I'm done with y'all. We've already looked at 25 houses and we can't seem to get one. I don't know what's going on, but I don't want nothing to do with this. Until you're ready to show proof, go find another agent. Risa looks at Ted and she's like, no. Don't you say another word. I don't want to hear nothing about no cars, houses. I just want to get through the holiday. We could talk about it next year. Ted's like, okay. This got Risa making another audio diary. She's like, why does it always seem like something goes wrong? She has a serious talk with herself and begins to reconsider the relationship. Am I going to stay in this relationship or am I going to leave? I can't believe I stayed this long. I'm starting to see these red flags. And I hung in there because, one, I didn't want to be alone. And I dragged myself through it because I wanted to be married. But what if he's not lying? Does he not trust me? Does he not want to get married? What is it? I've seen the letter of his promotion where he's getting $200,000 annually. I've seen him talk to his family. He's been paying all the bills, which is like the best thing ever. But in exchange, he's effing me up mentally. And I'm not talking to nobody about it because I believe what happens at home should stay at home. Which, by the way, guys, I get that a little bit because other people could never really understand the true dynamics of your relationship. But sometimes, bro, you gonna need that outside feedback. Because these narcissistic, gaslighting, pathological liars is out here, y'all. And if you never encountered one, yeah, it would be nice sometimes to talk to somebody. Now, Risa and Ted did not talk about cars or houses for the next 2 months. Around the time of Thanksgiving, Ted wanted to have a talk. He's like, look, I'm sorry. I know I effed up. I know things aren't looking good. Risa looking at him like, Ted's like, I really do want us to get married. I want us to have a house. I'll show you whatever I need to put you at ease. What do you need to know that I love you? Risa's like, okay, show me your bank accounts. He showed his checking and his Chase savings account. He didn't show the offshore account or the U.S. bank. But she said, yes, there was money in there. Now, I don't know what that means or how much money that's in there. Does that actually mean he was able to cut a check of like $700,000 for the house? I don't know. She said, listen, we buy a house, it's going through the Chase. And I ain't looking at no more houses till next year. Ted's like, okay. Now we're in December. They have another serious convo. It was about marriage and religion. They didn't like the fact that they are living with each other and they almost had a baby. And they're not married. Some of their family members didn't like it either. So they made the decision to finally get married. And remember, it was still COVID. They fill out a marriage license in Georgia where they both had to put their social security number. Risa watched that man put his on there, sent the application in, and did a background check on him immediately. There was no results.
Wow.
She did a criminal check. Again, there was no results. She was like, I either got his social wrong or something is going on here. They made their appointment at the court and got married. Risa didn't tell anybody. Because last time they set it up, they had to cancel it. She let her family know later and they was like, whoa, they was surprised. Her aunt, on the other hand, was like, oh, you did? Okay. You should have invited me. They got married on January 5th. After it, they went to get some wings. Then the next day, she went to work. Which is crazy to me because there ain't no way I'm going to get married and then we're going to freaking go to Popeyes. We at least got to go to Roof Chris. We got to do something romantic, bro. Ain't no way. Now, by January 31st,
For real.
Risa says this is when she knew she was in trouble. But she ain't know how deep. She said the things that married couples do completely stopped. And usually the man complains about this. But it was her. She didn't want to get R-rated, but I'm pretty sure she means he wasn't trying to hit it no more. Or as often. She files paperwork to change her last name. And she was like, I made this bed, so I'm just going to lay in it. I didn't work this hard to get married just to get a divorce. Risa makes an interlude video. Because people were like, why are you airing out all your business? She said it's because this situation was very traumatic for her. And there are women out here that need to hear this story so they don't do the same mistakes that she did. Now, Risa's like, guys, 100%. I'm going to just give you guys a name for this man. Which, oh my God, finally, we're on episode 3, about time. She says she calls him Legion. Which at first I'm like, Legion sounds crazy. Just sounds like a bunch of like anarchist group, whatever, I don't know. So everybody say goodbye, Ted, because we're not using that no more. Now remember, after the wedding, they had 2 weeks of peace. It was great. He would still go to work at 6:15. Risa was still Georgia State Patrol. Ted's been to her job, even met some of her coworkers. But she said after those 2 weeks, Ted started getting strange. He would look at what she's wearing to work and be like, why are you dressed like that? Which it wasn't like this. I'm pretty sure it was something like a work outfit. Or he'd be like, you get off at 3:30, right? So you should be here by 5. Like questions he would never ask before. Then it got to a point he would call her every day at work. And every time he heard a man in the background, he'd get weird and be like, why does it always seem like there's a man around you? What's up with that? Which, by the way, guys, if your significant other starts like randomly accusing you of like cheating or doing something, it can typically be a sign that they're doing something. So now I'm looking at Legion like a suspect. I mean, we all did, but I really am now. Risa didn't pay no mind. She's like, man, you tripping. Maybe he just having some insecurities. I'm thinking like he experienced something with his ex-wife, so he has trust issues now. In January, he's like, baby, I'm ready to look for a house. And just like all of us, y'all, Risa was like,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
we don't. She was like, I ain't going nowhere. You find a house, and if you find something that me and you both like, let me know. Otherwise, I don't want to hear it. So now we're at the end of January, and Legion starts working with his realtor friend named Scott. That supposedly Risa saw Legion talk to over 50 to 100 times. But just so y'all know, this is a different Scott. It's not the same Scott from earlier who said he don't want to work with him no more. I don't know how Legion knows so many Scotts. Either he got that many or he just not good at lying, okay? I don't know. So Legion would go to work in the morning and then after work go look at houses with Scott. And then whenever he was at houses, sometimes he would call Risa. He typically came home at 3:30, but after a while, he started coming at 4, 5, 6:30, 7 p.m. Risa noticed this, but she was just so emotionally exhausted. She was like, man, whatever. Now remember, they got married on the 4th. By the end of January, Risa was like, something is going on. And I might be in too deep by now. She tells Legion, hey,
Maybe.
my lease ends in August. So if you can't figure this out, I'm leaving with or without you. I don't care what you do, but I'm out. I'm gonna find my own crib. Now the reason Risa wanted to move is because she had this neighbor. And Legion was trying to paint this narrative that he was beefing with her. Supposedly she played loud music. She would try to flirt with him sometimes. And he said she kept having different men come over. Which that last one is just
gosh,
like,
here we go.
why do you care? Now, guys, this is where episode 3 gets interesting. Because it only goes downhill from here. February rolls by. So Valentine's Day is coming up. And her birthday, which ends up being the next day on the 15th. Risa says Legion did well. He went all out. On that weekend, Legion gives Risa some money to get her nails done. She pulls off in his car and heads to the shop. Then, while she's getting her nails done, she gets a text from Legion. Legion says, hey, someone was outside the house looking for you. Risa texts back like, who? Legion's like, I think it was the guy that you used to date. Now remember, in episode 1, they sat in the car after the Cheesecake Factory and got to know each other. And Risa mentioned that she dated one of her coworkers. Risa texts back like, what are you talking about? He said, I'm telling you, someone came looking for you. I told him you're not here. Risa starts panicking because she's like, who would just come to my house unannounced? Because before Legion, she worked the last shift of Amazon and wasn't talking to anyone for like a year. So who the hell was it? Risa comes home and says, what happened? Now, Legion was very calm. He says a guy pulled up in a black Charger. He walks outside and says, hey, can I help you? He said, yeah, I'm looking for Risa. Legion was like, well, she's not here. The guy drives off. Legion was like, I'm pretty sure that was your ex. The one you dated for 2 years. Risa says, you think he pulled up uninvited after 2 years after not being together? He said, whoever it was, they felt too comfortable pulling up. Risa's like, who could this be? And this news just had her freaking out. Now, Legion says, from the way that you're acting about this news, you're kind of suspect. Risa's like, what? What are you talking about? He said, I told you I handled it and you still over here freaking out. You acting weird. He obviously didn't know you moved on and you're married. But now he knows. Risa's like, he's never done pop-ups, so that doesn't make any sense. That would be a violation. She's like, okay, what did he look like? And guys, he gave the most basic answers. Legion was like, why does it matter what he looked like? Risa's like, just tell me. He was like, he was shorter than me and he had brown skin. At this point, Risa smelled the BS. She's like, I'm not playing this game.
This never happened.
She says, did he wear a hat? Legion says no. Risa starts thinking of like all the people it could have been, which is like 4 people, and one of them being the maintenance man. She asked him all types of questions to cross people out the list. And there was only one left. The ex she dated for 2 years. Legion was like, I'm sure it was the ex you dated for 2 years. Risa was like, that doesn't make any sense. She says, and it wasn't a police car. He's like, nah. One thing Legion didn't know, her ex would never buy a black Dodge Charger because he had to always drive one at work. Now there's 2 things that Legion didn't know. Risa has a security system on the door, not Ring that has a camera, but something a little different. When any of the doors in her house open, she gets a notification on her phone. It told her the door opened at 1 p.m. and closed at 1 p.m., which is less than 60 seconds. Legion says he also watched him drive away, which he would have to be outside to do that. So his story and getting it all done in 60 seconds was kind of sus. The second thing that Legion didn't know, the neighbor had a Ring security camera that showed their driveway and Risa's driveway, and clearly. The next day, Risa texts her neighbor and says, yo, were you home yesterday? The neighbor was like, nah, what's up? She said, listen, can you check your camera and see if a car pulled up to my house? She says, sure. A couple hours later, she says, hey, just checked. I didn't see anything. Risa's like, not even a person walking up? The neighbor's like, nope, nothing. Risa's like, nah, I've done this before. Because if E equals Legion BS squared, he made it up. So now this is the middle of February. Legion is asleep, but Risa is still thinking about this. She's like, nobody came to this house. Why would he make that up? He wanted to see my reaction. I've been gaslit. Now, after the Black Charger incident, a few weeks later, it's like the beginning of March, they go get burgers. Legion was like, did I ever show you where my grandma was buried? Because remember, she passed from COVID. Risa was like, no, you haven't. So he takes her to the cemetery, y'all, and he walks around and around till he comes to this hill. He's like, this is it. This is the tombstone. Risa looks at the tombstone, and it say John and Jane Doe. He was like, yeah, they buried her with my grandpa. Risa's like, oh, okay. What? And when it comes to death, Risa just believes you because, like, she don't play about that. So now they're headed back home. Legion's like, hey, you see that building over there? That one. That NCR building? Risa's like, yeah. He says, our company just bought the building behind it. We're going to have operations over here. Risa was like, why would you buy a condiment company in the middle of downtown Atlanta? Legion says, no, only for business, not production. So I'm guessing like office space. Risa's like, okay. He says, that's where I keep the company car. Risa was like, what? The BMW? She said, take me to your office. Legion's like, I can. So he gets off on the next exit.
Then do.
He makes a phone call, y'all. He tells Risa he's calling Willie, the head of security. Yeah, Willie, it's Legion. Is the building open? Yeah, I want to take my wife in to see the office. Uh-huh. Oh, you're not? Well, is Mr. Justin working? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, my yells are so funny. So is there anyone that can get me in the building? Because, yeah, I got my ID, but we're on the weekend lock, you know? Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, let me know. He hang up. Y'all see how I did that? This is like the epitome of Legion's phone calls. So now, guys, at this point, I'm telling you right now, I will never again believe that someone is on the other side of that phone call. He tells Risa, yeah, the people that I need aren't working right now. The building is locked. My badge won't get us through the front door. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. But nobody calls back, y'all. So they turn around and just head home. Risa's like, shocker. That's kind of weird when you're the VP. Now, the company car was a charcoal gray BMW. Till this day, she's never seen the car. He only shown her pictures. After the NCR situation, he tells her he leaves home, drives to Midtown, switches cars, and then heads over to Duluth. So he switches cars on the way back. He's never brought the car home. And this is after she was promised the BMW X5. So Risa was still salty about this. She's like, I don't care if it was a company car. He would often call her from the car and sometimes be like, I'm kind of tired. I might just drive the BMW home, which would get Risa excited because she want to drive the car. He did this multiple times because he enjoyed getting her hopes up. But eventually he stopped doing it because he knows Risa was tired of hearing about it. Like, you ain't showing the car. Stop talking about it. At this point, after the headstone situation, the NCR building, and the office not being open, she was starting to get numb to this because there was always some BS. Somewhere around late February, early March, there was clearly tension from her side. Now, one thing about Risa, everybody that knows her knows that she always wanted to go to London and she wants to explore Paris. She gets home from work and there's a folder on the table with a bow. She's like, Legion, what is this? He's like, go ahead, open it. It's a surprise.
Oh boy.
She opens it up and it's an itinerary for a flight to London. But she says it wasn't actually tickets. It was just like an itinerary. So like, I'm guessing it just a picture of flights they can get. I don't know. And they were set for July. Like Oprah, Legion was like, yeah, baby, I'm taking you to London. I wanted to take you on your birthday, but that's okay. It's never too late. And we got hotel reservations at the Savoy. Risa was like, oh my God, what is the Savoy? She started looking it up. And this place is just bougie as hell. As I'm making this video, I'm even looking it up like, what is the Savoy? This is crazy. Dang. Oh my. Yeah, this far. Wow. This far, y'all.
Yeah.
Risa gets super excited. She starts screaming, I love you, baby. Oh my God. Start hugging him and kissing him. She start running around like she just caught the Holy Ghost at church. She's like, now this man is speaking my language. He did research. He printed out the itinerary, printed out all the activities that we can do in London. He was like, baby, I don't really care about London, but I know you do. And I did this because I love you. I'll do anything for you. He said, okay, we just got to renew our passports and we're going to be ready to go.
Oh,
Next
God.
day,
Okay,
Risa
here we
prints
go.
out them renewal forms immediately. Needless to say, something happened. I'm not sure what that caused them not to fill it out. Now it's mid-March. They make a decision where her mom is going to come up and stay over there for about 9 days. Risa and Legion was excited because, Legion has never met her mom physically, so this is going to be great. Now Lisa says one thing about Legion, guys. He held this energy where he's like, I don't like liars, I don't like being around them, I don't like none of that. Which I know all of us right now is making this face. But okay, Legion. He likes everything being out in the open. Risa even has his passcode, but she's never checked his phone before. So guys, this is the day that changed. Disclaimer,
Yay!
Risa says she will never go through a phone
Finally.
again. So Legion's in the shower. Risa sees his phone get a text. She sees a notification on the top. She's like, oh no, this is either gonna go far left or far right. She opens the
here we
phone and
go.
looks at the thread. Now guys, chill, it was a false alarm. It was his aunt. Which, by the way, his aunt and his ex-wife have the same name. That's why she was worried. But Risa didn't stop there. Because she noticed his Facebook Messenger had a bunch of unreads. So she opens it. And guys, this man had multiple R-rated messages with a bunch of other women. And I got a cliffhanger right there, guys. I'm sorry. But this right here is just getting crazy and crazier. What is Risa gonna do? And I heard that episode 4 gets a lot worse. I
Confront
just
him.
turned almost 2 hours.
There's a
20
4?
minutes. If y'all want episode 4, I'm gonna need y'all to blow it up in the comments. Y'all gonna have to share this because, bro, these things take 12 hours at a time. Make me believe it. Okay, guys, what do you think about this?
I did not know there was
Guys.
another episode to come with this. I'm bewildered and yet not surprised.
How many more, though? This is such a cliffhanger.
This is such a cliffhanger. I need to binge. This is crazy. This is actually crazy.
Well, listen, if Risa doesn't just confront this man out of the shower, go through the rest of his phone, I'm going to be highly disappointed.
Seriously. I'll do it. I don't even believe in
get it
going through
together.
someone's phones. But this is another level. Go through that phone 3 months ago. Before you got
Yeah.
married, go through that phone. This is way too sus.
I'm shocked she didn't sooner with all the, questions and red flags that had come up. How the hell did she withstand for so
Ugh.
long?
I have no idea. I'm dumbfounded. It's one thing if you literally don't see any clues. And some are good. Some narcissists are good that you won't see red flags.
Mhm.
But you'd almost have to be an outside party to see the red flags because they get you so in the trance.
Yeah.
But this guy's not even good at it. He's obvious. And he's
Yeah.
messy. He's not cleaning up behind himself. It's just so weird. Ugh.
It's a real, I want to Google it. What is this fetish called? I want to know the name of it because
I don't know what it's called either, but it's definitely new kink unlocked because didn't know that was a thing. I know a generous sugar daddy gets off on gifting or
Mhm.
on wowing or on one-upping someone else. But the whole high and then disappointment, especially considering most of them involve high volumes of money required.
Right.
I'm going to spend this. It's not other things that he's getting her hyped about and then let down. It's all this financials. This one's
Mhm.
weird. This is so weird. Now we're gonna have to do another one on this,
I didn't realize.
I thought we were gonna knock out this whole topic today, but hell,
Well,
let's
you'll have to come back for more. I mean, I hope you guys
Yeah.
are on the ride with us and don't spoil it. Come back blind and watch it with us. But we got to do this because I'm on the edge of my seat.
I agree. No spoilers in the comments, but we're here for the predictions. If y'all have other ideas on how this might end, let's get to talking in the comments because I'm super curious.
So,
Whew, what a ride. It's not my drama. I'm exhausted. I'm I need to get out of this relationship. This is crazy. It's too much for me. Divorce. I'm over it.
wake up, Risa.
Hilarious. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of TikTok tea. And go to honor her for the millions of followers and millions of views and run that bag throughout all of this. I mean, if you're going to suffer through something crazy, might as well get some good out of it in the end, right?
100%.
Hilarious. Well, guys, subscribe to all of our channels, our YouTube, our Patreon. Follow us on all social media. All those links are in the caption below. Make sure you share the videos, spread the word about Muse on the Mic. We are always looking to grow our followers. And we will see you on the next wild episode, apparently.
Who the fuck did I marry? Bye, guys.
I know, we're getting more wine. Bye.